Making it to the NBA is the dream, but for many players, the toughest battles begin after the contracts are signed. Fans see the highlight plays, championship moments, and multi-million-dollar deals, but the real story often unfolds away from the spotlight. Behind the fame, some stars became trapped in legal troubles, personal scandals, and life-changing crises that money couldn't fix. Today, we're looking at NBA players whose lives spiraled off the court, proving that even the biggest careers can fall apart when personal struggles take over. Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas, famously known as Agent Zero, was an absolute superstar scoring machine who signed a historic 6-year, $111 million contract extension with the Washington Wizards, ultimately pulling in over $160 million in career earnings. Arenas was globally famous for his eccentric, completely unchecked spending habits that quickly became a massive legend. He routinely spent thousands of dollars a week on absolute luxuries, including a massive $1 million custom pool house that featured shark tanks, an expensive fleet of high-end sports cars, and dropping $60,000 just on custom train sets for his children. The true financial bleed escalated when his off-court legal troubles and team suspensions cut off his active endorsement income, while his lifestyle expenses remained astronomical. Arenas also ran through cash by funding a massive entourage and paying out huge sums in domestic support disputes. By the time his playing career concluded, his massive cash reserves were heavily depleted, and he famously admitted in legal filings that his lifestyle was burning through funds at an unsustainable rate, forcing him to sell off his luxury vehicles and downsize his massive estates just to avoid complete bankruptcy, proving that even a $100 million empire can fracture without control. Gatling. Chris Gatling was a highly talented, energetic forward who spent 11 seasons in the NBA, earning an All-Star selection in 1997 and banking over $29 million in career player salary primarily with the Golden State Warriors and Dallas Mavericks. Gatling was widely respected as a hard-working veteran, but his post-playing years dissolved into absolute financial and legal ruin due to a shocking criminal turn that completely destroyed his athletic legacy. Gatling fell into severe financial distress shortly after his retirement, running completely out of liquid cash due to poor asset management and high lifestyle inflation. In a desperate, bizarre attempt to maintain his finances, Gatling orchestrated a highly illegal real estate scam in Arizona. He broke into a foreclosed bank-owned luxury home, changed the locks, lived there without permission, and systematically tried to list the property online to rent it out to unsuspecting tenants, pocketing illegal cash. When police caught onto the operation, Gatling was hit with a massive array of felony charges, including forgery and grand theft. Later, he was caught running a telemarketing scam selling fake websites to vulnerable seniors, stealing their life savings to fund his remaining lifestyle habits. The ensuing legal nightmare completely drained his remaining bank accounts to pay for top-tier defense attorneys and heavy court restitution fines, landing him a 2.5-year prison sentence. Isaiah Rider. Isaiah Rider, famously known as J.R. Rider, was a sensationally gifted, hyper-athletic guard who won the 1994 NBA Slam Dunk Contest and enjoyed a lucrative 9-season career, banking over $26 million in gross salary while winning a championship ring with the 2001 Los Angeles Lakers. Tragically, Rider's immense basketball career and fortune were completely destroyed by a severe, unmanaged battle with behavioral issues and legal trouble that began during his playing days and spiraled fully out of control in retirement. Rider spent his wealth recklessly on luxury custom cars, massive entourage bills, and ongoing legal fines. Once his off-court drama forced him out of the league, his primary source of income dried up instantly, while his legal issues escalated dramatically. Rider faced an absolute barrage of high-profile arrests for narcotics possession, grand theft, and domestic disputes across multiple states. The continuous legal battles completely drained his remaining multi-million-dollar bank accounts to pay for criminal defense lawyers and bail bonds. By the late 2000s, Rider stood before a judge completely broke, having lost his primary properties to foreclosures and his vehicles to repossessions, leaving a tragic legacy of completely vaporized potential. Levingston. Levingston was a highly respected, energetic veteran forward who spent 11 seasons playing at the highest level of professional basketball, notably winning 2 back-to-back NBA championship rings as a vital reserve alongside Michael Jordan on the early 1990s Chicago Bulls. Levingston accumulated millions of dollars in career salary, but his retirement years dissolved into absolute financial and legal ruin due to a toxic mixture of failed entrepreneurial business projects, chronic overspending, and severe legal trouble related to unpaid domestic support. Levingston poured his basketball earnings into speculative commercial business startups, entertainment promotions, and real estate deals that completely failed to generate any profit. As his investments tanked, he maintained an expensive lifestyle, rapidly depleting his remaining cash reserves. By the early 2000s, his financial infrastructure collapsed entirely, culminating in criminal prosecution. In 2003, Levingston was charged and subsequently sentenced to 4 months in prison for falling over $100,000 in arrears on child support obligations, admitting to the court that his bank accounts were dry. His properties were foreclosed upon, his luxury vehicles were seized by creditors, and he was forced to sell off his prized Chicago Bulls NBA championship rings just to pay down his mounting legal and government debts, entirely erasing his sports fortune. Richard Jefferson. Richard Jefferson enjoyed a highly successful 17-season NBA career, winning a championship ring with the 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers, and earning an astronomical $115 million in career salaries. Jefferson was widely considered a highly smart, business-minded individual, but his financial foundation faced a massive, multi-million-dollar disaster due to an extreme insider betrayal by his trusted personal manager. Jefferson hired a close contact named Theodore Kritza to manage his day-to-day corporate accounts and ensure his bills were paid. Instead, Kritza secretly forged Jefferson's signature on business loans, credit applications, and official power of attorney documents over a 7-year span. The manager systematically embezzled up to $7 million directly from Jefferson's salary and endorsement cash, using the stolen money to buy luxury cars, private homes, and lavish global vacations for his own family. Jefferson only discovered the deep fraud in 2012 when he attempted to purchase a home and was blindsided by massive outstanding bank lines and loans opened under his name without his knowledge. Jefferson had to engage in covert operations with the FBI, recording phone calls to secure a confession, while Kritza was later sentenced to nearly 6 years in federal prison and ordered to pay $4.7 million in restitution. The exhausting insider scam permanently drained a massive chunk of Jefferson's liquid life savings. When the buzzer sounds on these careers, the math doesn't always add up, and these cautionary tales are a stark reminder that even the most legendary athletes are vulnerable when their personal house isn't in order. Whether it's an insider betrayal or a life-altering legal crisis, the gap between a championship legacy and total financial collapse can be surprisingly thin. Which of these tragic downfalls was the most difficult to believe? Drop your take in the comments below. Tap that like button if you're ready for our next deep dive into the financial side of sports. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown.